of course, getting started in tech with little to no experience at all. We're going to have fun, most importantly. If you've been in one of my sessions before, I'm sure you know this, that I'm a very fun person, and I love to ensure that my sessions are fun. So, what we're going to learn, we're going to understand what it takes to get into tech without experience. We are still going to be having fun. But just to ensure that we are all together, just to ensure that we are all on the same plane, I'm going to be asking a series of questions because in this session, it's very, very important that we communicate. Communication is a major part of this session. And for you to get the most out of this, you have to communicate. And what is communication to me? Or rather, what is communication in this case? Communication is I speak, you speak, and we all speak. Okay? I speak, you speak, and we all speak. That's what communication is. To me, anyways. I'm not saying that's the standard definition. So to ensure that we communicate, everyone's going to speak. But of course, I understand that we can't have everyone unmute themselves, so we don't have a ruckus. So instead, what we're going to be doing is using the chat box as the medium for communication. So we're going to be using the chat box as what? As the medium for communication. So if you know that you are good to go, and I'm just going to test this out because, of course, this is a form of communication. If you know you're good to go, you're ready to get into the session, you're ready to learn a lot, I want you to send I'm ready to the chat box, okay? If you know you're ready to go, you're ready to learn a lot, I want you to send I'm ready to the chat box. I'm going to be divulging a lot of secrets here, okay? I'm going to be divulging a lot of secrets. Thank you very much, Francis. So Francis is ready. Assumpto Chukwu is ready as well. Absolutely fantastic. What about the rest of us? Come on now. We have a lot of people on the call. And of course, the numbers are going to grow as we move on. So it's very, very important to get your response from each and every one of you. And thank you very much, Oladapo. So Oladapo is ready. What about you, Chris? Chris, are you ready? Adele, are you ready? Emmanuel, Francisca, Gracie, Jeremiah, Josephine, Mavian, Martin, Oladayo, Onyinyechi, Toby, Mary. Hello, everyone. I hope we are good to go. I'm ready. Okay, Zoom user is ready as well. Okay. Amazing. So I know that while I was preparing for this session, I did lots of research in understanding the kind of audience that we'll be getting, okay, that I'll be getting, because my key goal is to ensure that we are talking about things that each and every one of you can relate to, and not necessarily talking about things that you are not going to be able to relate to, or things that will not really be able to help you. So I wanted to ensure that I'm communicating to you just like we're having a personal conversation. And that's why a lot of research went into the section. And yeah, you're going to get to experience all of these as we move on. What we're actually taking a look at is how you can learn. And of course, I'm talking about you. I'm speaking to you. You that currently have a plate of food by the side and you're just munching on something as you're listening to me. Yeah, I'm talking to you. So the session, I know that you are interested in getting into tech, and that's why we're taking a look at how you can land your first tech job with no work experience. Keyword, with no work experience. Because we probably know that it's quite maybe difficult is not the words to use, but we have this expectation that when you're getting into something new, that there's a certain level of experience that you need. Because of course, we've gone through multiple job boards, and you always see things like, oh, you need 1 year experience, you need 2 years experience, you need 2 years experience. You always see things like that. It's quite rare nowadays for you to see a particular job post or a job out there that says, oh, you don't need any sort of requirements. Am I speaking the truth? Or do you guys agree with me? Am I speaking the truth? Or is this all just fables? Am I speaking the truth? Like I said, it's going to be communication. So I want to know. If I'm wrong, you can tell me I'm wrong as well. We can have a conversation. There's absolutely no problem in that. So I'm going to repeat myself just in case you did not get what I said the first time. I said that right now, many of us have this belief that getting into a new space without experience is next to impossible. And that's due to the fact that we've taken a look at lots and lots of job boards, and every job posting out there usually requires you to have some sort of experience. Either you have 1 year experience, you have 2 years experience, you have 2 years experience. You need to have some sort of experience. You hardly see roles that would say, "Oh, you don't need experience. We want someone that's brand new," except maybe it's an internship position. So, do you agree with me? Only Francis agrees with me at the moment. I want to know if okay, great. So some Tochiko agrees with me as well. What about the rest of us? Like I said, it has to be an interactive session. If it's not an interactive session, we could just as well decide to call it a day and end the session right here and now. Okay, so I can see that we agree. Great. And that's why we want to see if that is really the truth. We want to know, is it really the truth that for you to get into tech now, being specific, that you need to get experience? Okay, and if it's the truth, how then do you get that experience? Or if it's false, how then do you get started? But first and first is to really understand. First and first is to wait. Yeah, but first and first is to understand what we do at Analytics, because for many of us, this is probably your first time in joining an Analytics session. And so you might be wondering, what do we do? What are we about? So Analytics is an edtech company. Excuse me. Excuse me, I just need to get some water, please. Yes, sincere apologies about that, everyone. Kind of had a chapter stroke. So I was saying, what do we do at Analytics? Analytics is an edtech company, and we are in the business of making your dreams come true. Okay? We are in the business of making your dreams come true. That's what we do. And what we mean by that, for many of our participants, for many people that have joined us over the past 5 years, because yes, we are 5 years old now, many of those individuals who are now professionals had one main thing in mind. And what is that? To be able to transition, get a job in tech, to be able to move to a career path where they can see growth, to be able to move to a career path where they can get valuable money, valuable time for money, if you get what I mean. And for many of them, they were just like in your situation where they had no prior experience and were looking to get into the space and needed guidance. And we were able to help them make their dreams come true by taking them through the program and, of course, helping them land their first tech job. And I'm talking about 2,000 plus individuals right now that we've been able to help transition in the past 5 years. And we have programs ranging from data analytics to business analysis, data engineering to data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, agile project management, cybersecurity, product design, and also DevOps engineering. And of course, our facilitators are top companies in the world. And that's what we do. If you don't remember anything regarding what we do at Analytics, one thing that you cannot forget is the fact that we make your dreams come true. That's what we do. And what about me? I'm Aisha Gulaho, and I'm the lead in charge of training and operations at Analytics. So I have experience ranging from data analytics to business analysis, power platform engineering, predictive AI engineering, automation as well. And I've been able to work across several industries in several countries, from the UK to Canada to Singapore, also the US. I've been worked in hospitality with I've been worked in the hospitality industry with Bed Dog Hospitality in South Dakota. So that's it about me. And of course, I've been able to train up over 2,500 professionals in the field. But enough about the introductions. That's not why we're here. What we're actually here is to understand. Take a look at 3 things. The first being how you can land your first tech job with no experience. The second being understand the technical and employability skills that it would take for you to land a job. Because of course, it's all about landing a job. So we're going to see how can you land your first tech job without experience? What are the skills that you need to land that job? And we'll take a look at our upcoming course that's going to begin in December 6th. Are we good to go? Are we ready to go? I know we sent I'm ready earlier, and I want us to send the number one this time. If you know you're good to go, send one. Okay, I can see that Francis has been very, very interactive. Francis, I might just have a present for you at the end of the session. Okay, but great. So we are good to go. And we're gonna start by pondering on a question or looking at a statement. And that is breaking into tech can be scary, especially with no experience. For many of us, we are currently not in that. We are currently not in that. How do we put this? We're currently not in that. We're currently not in that stage where we can afford to make mistakes. Now, what do I mean by that? For kids, it's easier. It's very easy for you to try different things. You try this today. You go. You learn the skill. You learn that skill. You learn the skill because you have all the time in the world, and you also have freedom. But for most of us, that's not the case because we have bills to pay, we have spouses, we have busy lives. So when it comes to making any decision that is going to affect us down the line, we usually tend to ponder about it a whole lot. Because you might be thinking, what about if I decide to break into tech? I go all in. And at the end of the day, it's not fruitful. Won't that have just been time wasted? Or you leave everything you are doing at the moment and you decide to get into tech. You get into tech and you don't land the job. How are bills going to be paid? So this is a question that we have breaking into tech. It can be scary. We know, and that's why we're here. But something that we have to understand, and I'm sure that is something we know already, it's the fact that tech is lucrative. There's so many opportunities available. That's the reason why you're actually looking to break into tech. If you heard that, oh, there are no opportunities in tech, you probably not be in the session right now, but you know that it's lucrative. You're just concerned about being able to transition. And that's the reason why we also need to understand that there are so many jobs available and it doesn't matter your background. And we're going to explore all of this. We're going to take a practical approach. I'm not just here going to tell you, oh, you don't need the experience. No, we're going to take a practical approach for you to see how you can actually get that job. So if you have experience, let's say you have experience in science, in arts, or you have no background, you can still get a job in tech. I said that we've been on this for the past 5 years, and we've achieved a lot of success, being able to help over 2,000 individuals transition. And these are just the people that we know. I think I should also mention that these are just the people that we know, because we also have people, we have our participants that get jobs, but they do not reach out to let us know. So these are people that we know that have reached out to us telling us that, oh, I was able to get a job, I was able to transition, and you can too. Some of those individuals with no tech background, some of these individuals with no tech backgrounds, we have their testimonials. And maybe you've seen this before, maybe not. You can always go to our YouTube channel and take a look at all of the testimonials for you to listen to people that have been able to make that switch that you are looking to make as well. So we've had different practitioners. We've had medical practitioners in tech, people in the medical field, from nurses to pharmacists that have been able to transition. They had a science background. Just in case for you right now, that's the background that you have a background in science and you're looking to transition into tech. Are there people that have done it before? Absolutely, yes. For example, we have Evelyn. Evelyn was able to transition from being a nurse for 15 years. She had 15 years experience in nursing, and she was able to transition to a data engineer. She got a job as a data engineer. And this is not me just spitting favors right here, because once you get the slides, of course, my colleague is going to be sending the link to fill the attendance form to the chat box. So please ensure you fill that form, and you're going to get access to the recording, access to the slides. So when you do that, please go through Evelyn's testimonial for you to listen to how Evelyn was able to make that switch from being a nurse, which is the situation that many of us find ourselves right now, to John Doe. So John Doe didn't really mention his name, okay, for privacy reasons, but he was able to transition from being a medical doctor to a data analyst. To a data analyst. Amazing. And of course, we also have Tony. Tony had a background in pharmacy. She was a pharmacist. For Tony in particular, so Tony was a pharmacist back in Nigeria, I believe. And then when she transitioned, when she left Nigeria and she moved to the UK, she was able to get a job as a data analyst with no prior experience in tech. And these are just a few testimonials because, like I said, over 3,000 individuals, and to be literally impossible to get all of that in my slides. So we have lots of people that have been in the health sector that have been able to transition into tech. And of course, also talking about those in the non-science sector, maybe arts, in the social science, yeah, majorly arts really, okay, because social science is still a science, okay. And then you have people like Temi. Now, Temi was a lawyer. Temi was a lawyer and he was able to transition into tech, being a business analyst. This is not me just saying the states. You can listen to this individual speak to it, how they were able to make that switch. Okay, and then we have who? We have Osabo. Osabo was able to also transition to become a business analyst from a sales personnel. So she previously worked as a sales rep, and she was able to become a business analyst. And we also have Ngozi. Ngozi transitioned from being a customer service rep to becoming a business analyst. From what? From being a customer service rep to becoming a business analyst. That's Ngozi. And Ngozi currently works remotely, which is even amazing. Okay, even more amazing. She works remotely at the moment from Huddersfield in the UK because she had the kids. One great thing about Ngozi is that when she reached out to us looking to get into the program, she informed us that, okay, this is what I'm looking to do. I would like to get a remote job due to the fact that I have my kids. I know in the UK, if you're not going to be with your kids, you have to hire a sitter, all of that. And she didn't really want that. So she wanted to be able to take care of her kids while also working. And then we helped her out and she was able to get a job. You can see from the photo, that's our workstation, okay? She was able to get a job as a business analyst working remotely in the UK. And of course, now moving into those with no background, because for you, you might be wondering, oh, Aisha, I can see that you've talked about people that have backgrounds in what? In science, or those that have background in arts. What about me? I don't have any background. I've never worked before. Can I still be able to transition? The answer is yes. Because looking at Ikmat, for instance, Ikmat was able to transition into tech. For Ikmat's story is very, very unique and very, very interesting because the story of Ikmat is for about 2-3 years, she was a stay-at-home mom, okay, because she wanted to stay back, take care of her kids and all of that. So she had no work experience within that time. And we were able to help her transition to get a job. She actually got 2 job offers. She got 2 job offers. The first offer she got, she didn't go for that, and then she got another offer working as a data analyst in the UK. Okay, and this is Igmat. Okay, I believe you can I'm sure I'm just a moment. So I'm going to like to play this. I want you guys to listen to Igmat just a moment. So please confirm if you can hear my audio. I believe you should be able to.
Joining Analytics has been the best decision so far. You know, for me, someone coming from a background of full housewife, because I had to stay back home to look after my child for 4 years, and then wanting to break into something new, wanting to go back into the workforce, you know, wanting to place myself in the society for better job opportunities. So it was a lot. And then I'm glad that Analytics came along and then they presented me with so many opportunities right in front of me, better opportunities. And then I'm glad I took it. And then also the advice of do not sell yourself short, that Effie is always saying, it is very, very valid, because place yourself right, you know, don't sell yourself short. It's a very, very, very valid advice. You know, in Analytics, they will hold your hands like a child, you know, through the modules. You have the opportunity to go back and study. You have the opportunity to go back and practice. You have the opportunity to ask questions. You know, we have people you can always go back to even outside of class hours. It's the most amazing experience so far, really. And then another thing is the interview prep, guys. That is another very important thing. I did my interview prep with Mr. Mohammed, and it is the best decision ever, because it was like he saw into the future. He knew what was going to be asked, and I'm glad that I wrote down all the things he mentioned. I went back to practice, and then when it was time for the interview, it was like everything he was mentioning, everything he mentioned, it was just they kept on. And then when I was answering those questions, I was so confident, because I already practiced. I did an Excel test, I did a maths test, and then they were really impressed. And another thing is, guys, it may not come as fast as you expect. Definitely you are going to get some no's, and then you may begin to think you're not good enough. You are good enough, yes. The no's will come, but always take it as a basis for learning and development, because after every interview where I got a no, I always make sure I get a personal feedback. So I work on those feedbacks for my next interviews. And yes, it worked. It really worked for me, because I got my first job 3 months into the program, my first job. But I couldn't take up the job because I was a student and I was only eligible to work 20 hours. So I couldn't take up the job. 3 months later, I got 2 jobs with full visa sponsorship. And guys, all the other no's before the 2 jobs prepared me for the yeses I got. So yes, the no's will come, but do not give up, because you always have the analytics to go back to. They are the best and the best thing that's ever happened to me. And then yes, and they are the most affordable, the most affordable one I've come across so far, and that's a very good advantage. So yes, analytics for the win.
So guys, you can see from that. I'm sure we all listened to that, right? Everyone got that. Are we still together? Fantastic. Thank you very much, Francis. So I'm sure that we can from this now. I want to ask a question, and I want to get some feedback. I'm sure from the testimonials that we've seen that we now know it is possible to get a job in tech without experience, right? And I use the word without experience knowingly and cautiously, and I will explain what I mean later on. But from what we've seen so far, do we all agree that it's actually possible for you to be able to transition and get a job in tech? I need responses, okay? Chidima is asking, do we have a YouTube channel? Yes, we do. So just check us out on YouTube, Analytics, and of course you're gonna find us there. Okay, so I can see, yes, thank you very much. Oppo, thank you. Onyechi, thank you. All of that. So you can see that it's actually possible. It's possible to get a job in tech. But the main question you should be asking now is how. That should be the main question. Because I also saw on the chat box that someone mentioned earlier that someone mentioned earlier that when you're that for 4 years is he or she, I didn't get that, but this person has been trying to transition into tech for the past 4 years. For the past 4 years. And yet we have individuals that just led the program and within a year, they were able to get a job. Someone got 3 different job offers. The first, she was not able to go through with that due to the fact that she was just wrapping up her master's. And then she got 2 more that came with full visa sponsorship. And she had to go with the best. So how is this done? What's the magic behind it? Is it luck? Is it that there's some people that are just lucky and that's what you have to pray for? Oh, I hope I'm going to be lucky. Or is there something behind it? The truth is, it's not luck. There's actually a method, there's a working formula. There's a working formula that we know and that we employ and that we use and that we use in ensuring that each and every one of our participants are successful. I'm talking about the learn plus the experience plus the packaging which we get to the job. And we're going to take a look at the learn first of all. learn. And what is learn? For you to even be able to transition, for you to get a job in tech, you have to learn. You have to learn because you cannot go get a job. It's just like you say, let's say you're a lawyer, for instance, and you decide tomorrow that you want to become a doctor. You're gonna have to learn. You're gonna have to go to school. You're gonna have to get the skills. You can't just start working somewhere without actually having the skills that it would take for you to function in that role. So you have to learn. And what skills do you learn? Do you just go about learning whatever? No, you go ahead to learn the in-demand skills. That's the in-demand careers. Talking about talking about your okay, you know what? We're gonna focus on that later on. We'll go to that later on. That's the in-demand careers. But just know that you're going to learn that you have to learn the skills. And not just any skills, you have to go ahead to learn skills that are in demand, especially in this era of AI, because everyone is scared of AI, to be honest. So that's the first thing you have to learn, and you have to be focused during this in terms of learning. And then the next thing is that you have to package yourself. You have to package yourself. And what is package? Package means you presenting and positioning yourself as the best candidate for the job. Packaging does not mean you falsifying records or you claiming to be what you are not, but basically you making yourself look attractive to the employer, to the recruiter, making yourself become irresistible to the recruiter. That is what packaging is all about. You want to focus on eliminating alternatives. You want to focus on ensuring that once you get in that interview, once you speak, the recruiter is not going to have an eye out for any other person. And how do you package yourself? You package yourself by getting employability skills by doing several things, such as revamping your CV, which is very, very important. You want to ensure that your CV is the best of the best. You want to ensure that your CV is highlighting key criteria, is highlighting the key skills that are needed for that role. You want to ensure that your CV is putting your best foot forward. And then you have your LinkedIn optimization, optimizing your LinkedIn, which is a great one, because in this day and age, many recruiters go on LinkedIn to really confirm about a particular candidate before they go ahead to give that person the job. So they want to know, are you really who you say you are? The skills that you claim to have, do you really have those skills? Do you have social proof? That's what it's called. Do you have what? Social proof. Then you have your portfolio. If you're looking to get a job in tech and you don't have a portfolio, mark my words, you haven't even started. You can't be having a portfolio and you say you want to be a data engineer. How does that work? You cannot be having, I'm sorry, I'm going to rephrase. You cannot be having a portfolio and say you want to be a data engineer. How does that work? You cannot be having a portfolio and say that you want to be a data analyst. How is that going to work? You absolutely have to have a portfolio because the portfolio is what is going to serve as your experience. Because there's something that we know, there's something we do acknowledge, and that is the fact that for every job out there, they do require some sort of experience. So I'm not going to come in here and start spitting fables, telling you to go apply to entry-level positions, quote, roles that would say, oh, you don't need any experience, because to be frank, I don't think such roles exist. Every role requires you to have some sort of experience. Every role requires you to have some sort of knowledge, some sort of proof that you are going to be able to come in to perform. And one of the best ways to show that you have that proof, that you have that experience, is by having a portfolio. Also, you want to be mentored. Talking about the mentorship. Be mentored week in, week out. Being told that this is the way you should go about things. This is what you should do. This is what you should do. Being shown by the expert, people that have been able to transition, people that have been able to do what you're currently trying to do, being shown how to go about things. Oh, this is when you have to apply to job. This is how the job board you should apply to. This is how you position yourself rightly in the market. Mentorship is very, very important. Then you have your interview preparation, where you've gotten a job and you need to prepare for an interview. Ikmat mentioned that earlier in the testimonial that we went through earlier. She mentioned that she had an interview prep with one of our experts and she was prepped for that interview. And during the interview, it seemed like it was a repeat of the interview prep because every single question she was asked, she was already prepared for those questions. And because of that, she was very, very confident. Then you have the job reference. You've gotten the job, but the recruiter wants you to provide a reference. You also get that, which is the employability. That's something that you also need to be able to package yourself. And then on the job support. All of these things put together is what will give you that packaging. Okay, all of these things put together is what will give you that packaging. Okay, package. That's what it means to package yourself. That's what it means to do what? To package yourself. And once you've done that, the next thing you want to do is you want to go ahead to apply. Just wipe that. You want to go ahead to apply. Because if you don't apply, you're not going to get the job. For many of us, we claim that, oh, I've been trying to break into tech. And then when you're asked, how many jobs do you apply to? You say you apply to one job a day. How are you going to get the job? You have to apply aggressively. There's something we like to call applying like a machine at Analytics. Okay, so you have to apply like a machine, but you're not just applying like a machine randomly, where once you go on any job board, you're just clicking on apply, 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 apply. No, you have to apply with precision. You have to apply with what? You have to apply with precision. And what does it mean to apply with precision? Your CV has to be tailored to every job application, to every job application. You have to ensure that you're tailoring your CV to every job application. Very, very important. You should not use one CV to apply to all jobs, to apply to multiple jobs. And another way that you can apply like a machine, but with precision, is by ensuring that you are applying to, you are having 10 quality. Keyword here, the keyword here is what? Quality. Quality applications. Quality is the keyword. Quality applications. So don't just go apply to several jobs. You're applying to jobs that were posted 2 months ago, and you claim that, oh, I've applied to jobs. No, quality applications. Quality applications involves you ensuring that your CV is tailored to that particular job, and of course, you also ensuring that you are applying to a job that's recent, a job that was uploaded a day ago, 2 hours ago, 2 days ago, a week ago, max, and not applying to jobs from 4 months ago, because the chance of that job still being open is very, very low. And then you're going to have, once you do all of these things, once you learn, you package, and you apply, that is what is going to get you the job. So it's a working formula. Like I said, we've seen this work. We've done this before. We've done it several times. And you can do same as well. Let's take a quick example. Let's say you want to be a business analyst. You want to be a business analyst and you have absolutely no experience. What do? We take an example of Ngozi, also known as Judith, Judith. So let's take a look at Judith. What does she do? The first thing first is that you need to identify your background. What do you do? Do you have a skill? Do you have transferable skills, or you have no experience at all? Looking at Judith. Judith had a background in HR back in Nigeria, and she worked as a carer while studying in the UK. She worked as a carer while studying in the UK, and this is a position that many of us are in at the moment. And then what was she looking to do? She wanted to get a job. So what was the next thing? What's the first thing that Judith has to do? From the equation that we went through an equation earlier. There are 2 things you have to do that will get to the job. What's the first thing? I'm asking a question, okay? I just want to ensure that we're following. What's the first thing you have to do? You have to learn. Thank you very much, Chidera. Exactly. You have to learn. So Judith went ahead to learn. Judith went ahead to learn. Judith joined the Analytics Business Analysis program and completed a program in March. That's March 2024. She completed a program in March 2024. Now that Judith has learned, what's the next thing she has to do? Package. Exactly. She has to what? She has to package. So Judith went ahead to package. And how did she package? She tailored her CV to that of a business analyst. Okay, for transferable skills she had in HR and in care, transferred everything to HR. She had a working portfolio, very, very important, because the portfolio is the bag of proofs. Anyone can claim to have 20 years experience. It's very easy for me to say, oh, I have 20 years experience. But what is actually going to serve as that proof that you have 20 years experience or not? It's your portfolio. And she also joined all the mentorship sessions, being mentored by experts. That this is what you have to do. That's what you have to do. It's how you're supposed to go about it. That's how you're supposed to go about it. And she got prepped for multiple interviews. Always being prepped. She has an interview, she's prepped. She has an interview, she's prepped. So that when she's going to that interview, she's putting her best foot forward. And then from the packaging, the next thing is what? To apply. She applied like a machine, but with precision. Exactly, Opal. Okay, she applied like a machine, but with precision. She applied to multiple jobs, both in the UK and in the US, because she was looking to get a remote opportunity. So she was very, very open. She applied to jobs in the UK and in the US from the Analytics job board, because we also have a job board. And she tailored every single application. Every single application was what? Was tailored. All of these things together got her the job. And of course, you can watch the full interview with Judith. So once you get the slides, we don't have all day, probably would have gone through this, because we'll also interview Judith to talk about how she was able to transition, how she was able to get that done. So you can watch the full interview. So Judith was able to get a job in July 2024. She landed a business analyst job in the US while working remotely for Huddersfield in the UK, and she got the job less than 4 months after completing the program. Again, once you get the slides, just click on this link. You see this? Just click on this link and you get to watch the full interview. So now that we've understood what it takes to be able to get a job, because to get a job, remember, we've made certain things clear. And one of the things that we've made clear is that for many of these job boards, you're going to see that you require some sort of experience. And we've seen that for you to be able to get a job, you need to learn the skills, you need to package. Packaging is where most of the work is going to go in, and which we're going to help you with. And then, of course, you have to apply. So let's take a look at all of the programs. Let's take a look at you learning, because you have to learn. Now that you are, so the year link is not working, so we're going to take a look at that, okay? So now that you understand what you have to do, let's take a look at some of the skills that you should be learning. Because you don't just want to go there and learn every single thing. No, there are certain things that you should be learning. Let's take a look at the career path. The career path that have real job security. Career path with what? With real job security. Especially today, where you get into about, oh, AI is coming to take a job, AI is coming to take a job. So whatever you're learning, whatever you're getting into, you want to ensure that you're getting into a job, that you want to ensure you're getting into a job, you're trying to transition into a career, that you have job security. And so taking a look at the job, the board analysis, because for one great thing about us as a company is that we are very, very much interested in your success. I've mentioned this several times today. And so the way we decided, or the way we decide on the different jobs or the different career paths that you should be looking to get into is by extensive research. Research from analyzing job boards, research from taking a look at different organizations that are also trying to do similar research as us. Now, what did we do? We went ahead to carry out a job board analysis. We took a look at job boards from LinkedIn to Indeed to Glassdoor to Jobs, CV Library, Monster, Google, Indeed, all of these job boards. We scraped these jobs from these job boards and we did our analysis to find out which jobs were in the most demand, which jobs were always showing up over and over and over and over again in terms of opportunities. And then what did we see? We saw that in for different roles. We noticed that we had roles that were in real high demand, included data analytics, business analysis, cybersecurity, and a couple of others as well. But we did not just stop there, because as a data company, we understand that when you're carrying out research, there's a tendency for bias. There's a chance that you can be biased towards the results because you yourself, you are the one carrying out the analysis. So what we wanted to do is I wanted to also check out if there's any organization out there that has done something similar to what we've done, so that we can also take a look at their reports, their results, and see if it's aligned with ours. And that's how we came across the World Economic Forum. Now, the World Economic Forum releases the Future of Job reports every 2 years. The last report was released in 2025. And what that report shows is that it showed the jobs that are in high demand, those that were increasing, and those that were decreasing. So we took a look at the World Economic Forum, and then we also took a look at the regional analysis. Several things that we did: job board analysis, the World Economic Forum validation, which was like external analysis, and then we also did a regional analysis, taking a look at the different regions and the jobs, the career path that were in high demand in each and every one of these regions. From the UK that we took a look at, which where we checked out the eligible occupations for the skilled worker visa, to the US, where we took a look at the job titles with the highest H-1B acceptance rates, and of course, more recently, the government of the US government tried to make getting an H-1B visa a bit more difficult, or had plans to do so. But at the moment, there has been a reversal, so maybe you want to take a look at that. And so we've noticed, we also checked out those jobs in the US, because for many individuals, they're looking to get H-1B visas. So you want to get into the US using tech. So we took a look at those jobs that, okay, these are the jobs that have the highest H-1B visa acceptance rates. And of course, we also took a look at Canada, where we had the provincial nominees program, priority streams such as the AAIP, the SACS Tech Pathway to the BC Tech pilots, the OINP, and so many more. And the great thing about this research is that for every research we've done, we've also attached links to the slides so that you can go through this research at any time, and you can also take a look at what applies to your own region. Are we still together? Are we still together? Okay, fantastic. Good to know we're still together. Okay, I'm glad we're enjoying the conversation so far. So from all of this analysis, this three analysis, that's the first, the job board analysis, the regional analysis, and also the World Economic Forum validation. All of this brought us somewhere. It brought us to 10 programs, 10 programs that we saw were in high demand. The first was business analysis, then data analytics, then we had data science, then we had agile project management, Scrum Master, to data engineering, to cybersecurity analysis, okay, that's for the cybersecurity experts, to HR analytics, financial analytics, DevOps engineering, which is a new program that we are launching. And we also saw that DevOps engineering is very, very high in demand, looking at the job board analysis, the World Economic Forum validation, and also the regional analysis. So lastly, the product design. These are the 10 programs that are very, very, very much in high demand. And just to also show you a little bit of proof, just to show you what the World Economic Forum Future of Job reports look like, because of course, you can click on this to get access to that report. It's over, I think, 297 pages, if I'm not mistaken. And there are some key parts that I would like to highlight. In the World Economic Forum, they showed us those jobs that will be created and those that will be destroyed, especially with the advent of AI. And what we saw is that in the next 5 years, which is by 2030, from now to 2030, 170 million jobs will be created. 170 million. 170 million will be created. But while jobs are being created, jobs will still be lost. And that's the reason why we have 92 million jobs that will disappear. So jobs will be created and jobs will be lost. So what jobs will be created and which will be lost? Well, the first is we have, and this is the this report is gotten from the World Economic Forum, like I mentioned. And what we can see over here, by the left, these are jobs that will increase in demand. These are jobs that will increase in demand. And by the right, these are jobs that will decrease in demand. So we have those that will increase and those that will decrease. And what are we saying right now? The blue streak shows those jobs, so shows number of roles that will be created in that particular career path. And then the purplish or pinkish streak shows those that will be destroyed, shows the number of roles that will be destroyed in that career path. And so one of those jobs that are very, very high in demand, we have the data engineers. And for the data engineers, you can see roles like the data engineering role. You can see the number of roles. For example, looking at data engineering, you can see that we don't have roles that will be destroyed, but we have lots of roles that will be created for the data engineers. And of course, the data warehousing specialists, which are also data engineers, and the big data specialists, which are also data engineers as well. To the data analyst and scientist. The data analyst and scientist, where we have the AI machine. And please note, like I mentioned, this is not our document. This is from the World Economic Forum, the WEF. So don't think that, oh, I just designed the slide and I'm showing you all of this. No, these are actual records from the World Economic Forum, the people that decide global economics. And so we have the data analysts and scientists. The data analysts and scientists, we have the AI machine learning specialist, because AI machine learning, that's a data science role. Data science is the base for machine learning and AI. So, and then you also have the data analyst and scientist just listed explicitly over here. Because a data scientist can function as an AI machine learning specialist, just in case you were wondering. Moving on. We've taken a look at data engineers. We've taken a look at data scientists. We also have the so we also have the information security analyst and the Internet of Things specialist, and these are cybersecurity roles. So if you're looking to get into cybersecurity, a moment. Yeah. So if you're looking to get into cybersecurity, your job is still very much in high demand, because you take a look at this and you're going to see things like your information security analyst, which is a role in cybersecurity. Because if you're familiar with cybersecurity, you know that there are several aspects to it. You have the SOC analyst, you have the GRC experts, you have the pen testers, you have the threat intelligence experts. So for the information security analyst, that's a role that the SOC analyst usually functions in. And of course, the SOC analyst is a cybersecurity analyst as well. Then you have the security management specialist. And as you can see, these are roles that are in very high demand. Look at the number of roles that are going to be created and added to the existing ones. Then we also have the business analyst. For the business analyst, we're taking a look at the process automation specialist, because a business analyst is a process expert. And we're going to get into that for you to really understand who a business analyst is, what it takes to become a business analyst. But we are not done. We also have the DevOps engineers. Because over here, you're going to see, you notice that you can see what? You can see DevOps engineering. You can see what? DevOps engineer. So that's a role that is still very much in high demand, according to the World Economic Forum. And then moving on, you'd see that we have the data analyst. We also have data analyst in here, which is the business intelligence analyst, because this is a role that a business analyst can also function in as well. And then you have the data engineers. The data engineers where you have the database architect. This is also a role that the data engineer can function in. That's one great thing about tech, is that if you go ahead and you learn data engineering, you don't only get to work as a data engineer. There are several subsets of data engineering that you can function in, that you can work in, that you can earn those big bucks that we are all looking for. And then you have the agile project managers, and you can see over here that's the project management roles, and you also have the business analyst as well. Did I also mention? I don't think I showed you guys the UI UX designers. Yes, so this is the product design. I don't think I highlighted this. So the UI UX designers, those are the product designer. And I would explain the great thing about a product designer is that there are several ways, there are several roles that you can function. And UI UX designer is one of them. So you can see the 10 roles I mentioned, they are all in high demand. And for you to know which is the best for you to know the best path for you can quickly just take a quiz. Okay, so you can quickly take a quiz. So my colleagues would also be sending the quiz link to the chat box. Or if you have your phone, you can just go ahead and scan the QR code you have currently have on your screen. And it's going to open up a quiz for you. It's going to open up a quiz for you that you can take to decide on your career path. If you want to be to decide on your career path, if you want to be a data analyst, a data engineer, a cybersecurity, a UI UX designer, that's a product designer, or a DevOps engineer, all of that. So please go ahead to take this personality test to figure out which is going to be the best path for you. Okay, so like I said, we've been talking about this over and over and over again, and we are back here, which is the fact that you have to learn. You learn, and how do you learn? How do you learn? Because we've talked about the learning, we're talking about you learning, packaging, and applying. And for you to learn, you have to learn the actual skills that are in demand. And we've gone through the skills that are in demand, how you can identify the skills that are in demand, the amount of research that went into that to figure out the 10 programs that are in high demand, and that you can go ahead, learn a skill, and get a job. So how do you actually learn? The great thing about analytics is that we use a hybrid format. And what do I mean by a hybrid format? You have analytics LMS where you have your self-paced learning. What's the meaning of self-paced learning? You have your videos, and then you're watching, you're practicing alongside the facilitator on the video. You're working on case studies. You're getting all the skills you need. This is how you can learn at your convenience at any time, learning at your own pace. And then in addition to this, you then also have your live classes. When you have your an instructor, you'd have instructor-led classes where the instructor will be in the class taking you through things, telling you, okay, this is how you go about this is how you go about this is how you go about this. So this is a blended approach. So it doesn't matter where you fall on, because we focus on what the employers want and not what we think is important. That's in terms of the learning. So what you're going to learn on the LMS is what the employers want. Because something we also noticed is that for many of you, you go ahead to learn and you're learning things that are not really necessary to the role. For example, in this day and age, I see data analysts that learn the skill R. And it's not me saying that R is useless. I don't know if you know R. There's a programming language called R. R is still a great skill. It's still a great tool. But what we've seen in this day and age is that for many organizations, they do not work with R. R is mostly used in schools, in the educational sector. If you went to school to study data science or something, you were probably taught how to use R. And the truth is, R is not really a programming language that many organizations choose to as today. But rather, what companies use is Python. Python is the most used language into this world. The chance of a company using R is very slim. So instead of you learning R, you go to learn Python, and that's where you're actually learning what the employer wants and not what you think you should learn. So doing that, it makes you even more employable. That's how you learn. And something that you're probably also interested in is looking at the the median salary for each and every one of this career path. Business analysis, for instance, you have the UK, Canada, the US. In the UK, earning about £52,000. I might not be able to go through each and every one of these in detail, seeing that I want to. There are still other things that I want us to take a look at. But please, as soon as you get the slides, you can check out the different median salary. And what's the meaning of median salary? Median salary means that you're going to have you're going to have people that would earn above this, and you're going to have those that would earn slightly below this. But you can see the median salary for the business analyst, the data analyst, the data scientist, you have the data engineer, you have the agile project manager, the HR analyst, the financial analyst, the cybersecurity expert, the DevOps engineer, and also the product designer. Each and every one of these things are very, I'm sure they are mouth watering right now. So that's what you have to do. You have to learn, and you have to learn the skills. Keyword: if you forget about everything about learning, what you should not forget is that you have to learn what the employer wants. So you have to be guided. Don't just go learning things that it's very important. The time you spend learning tools that are not necessary, it will be better if you use that time in learning the tools that will make you even more employable. And after learning, the next thing is that you have to package yourself. You have to package yourself. And that's you crafting a magnetic, job-ready profile. Before you start packaging, you have to remember that it is competence over credentials. Competence over credentials. For many of us, we are obsessed. And I use the word obsessed knowingly. We are obsessed with certificates. Oh, do I need the certificate to get this job? Do I need to do my master's? Do I need to get my CBAM? Do I need to get a certificate? Or Aisha, where can I find a certificate for data engineering? That is not the goal. It is competence over credentials. And that's something we've noticed as well. This is not just us just spitting fables. We've also noticed a trend from employers that what people are interested in is not a piece of paper or you showing something that says, oh, you are a certified, whatever the case might be. But rather, do you actually have the skills? If I give you a problem right now, can you solve that problem? Earlier in the year, no other than Elon Musk, I'm sure everyone knows Elon Musk, he made a post on his X account. He said, if you're a hardcore software engineer, and you want to build the Everything app, please join us by sending your best work to code@x.com. We don't care where you went to school or even whether you went to school. We don't care if you went to school or whether you went to school. We don't care about your certificates. We don't care if you have a certificate in data engineering or if you have a certificate in data analytics. What we're interested is your work. Your work. Just show us your code. That's the only thing that I'm interested in. The era of certification is over. Absolutely. And I mean absolutely nobody cares anymore. Show your skills and experience. And that is what Hope did. Because we had a participant, Hope. And what did Hope do? Hope had prior knowledge in project management and Scrum. Just like some of us right now on the call, we probably have the skills. You know, you've been in tech for the past 5 years, for the past 6 years, but you don't have a job. That was the same story as Hope. Hope had a project management and Scrum Master certification, but could not land a job in Canada. She had a certificate, but no job. And that's when she decided to join our Agile Project Management program in September 2024. And she got a job December 2024. This is someone that's already had a certificate. Oh, that's a certificate that claims you are an Agile Project Manager and a Scrum Master. But she was not able to get a job till she joined our program and we helped her package herself. She secured a job as a project analyst with Viceman in Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. So it's not about having a piece of paper. It's not about having a certificate attached to your name, but rather it's about you having the skills. And so how do you craft a magnetic job ready profile? You have to absolutely absolutely build a portfolio. No portfolio, no show. If you don't have a portfolio, don't expect magic. You have to build a portfolio. After building a portfolio, it's going to take you to something. But I want to show you some of an example of a portfolio example. These are some of the portfolios that our past participants have built. These are portfolios that actually show their job readiness. It shows their skills. It shows what they can. It shows what they have. It shows how amazing they are. Are we together? Are we following? Even though you're still with me, send a yes to the chat box. Okay, even though you're still with me, send a yes to the chat box. Fantastic. Thank you very much. So these are portfolios that you can take a look at because you have to absolutely have that portfolio. We are always saying, oh, I don't have the 10 years experience. I don't have this 50 years experience. The portfolio is the way for you to show that you have the experience. You can't claim that you have 50 years experience and you don't have a portfolio. The difference between you that don't have experience and someone that has the 20 years experience is how well their portfolio has been made. So as long as you have a well put together portfolio, you are good to go. And what is your portfolio? Your portfolio is like an easily accessible website that contains all of your projects, things that you've done in the past. And we're going to guide you in creating the portfolio. Don't worry. So that's how you what? That's how you package yourself. Very first thing, you need to have a portfolio. And then after you've had your portfolio, you need to have your CV revamped. That would also help you with that. You provide your CV to us as a like a placeholder, like a startup point. And you'll also we're going to help you work on that CV. You get your CV worked on, revamped for your CV to be job ready. And you'd also be shown how you can revamp your CV for every job that you're applying to. Because like I mentioned earlier, when you're applying to any job, your CV has to be tailored to that particular job description. Then you also have to have your LinkedIn optimized. I talked about this. You need to know how to navigate the job market. Either you're in the US, you're in Canada, you're in the UK, or any part of the world you are in. You need to understand how the job works in that particular client. And of course, interview prep sessions for when you get an interview, for you to be prepped for that interview. So you go to the interview and so you do amazingly well. Job reference. You've gotten the job, I need a reference. Someone that would say, "Oh, I've worked with Chime, and Chime is a fantastic individual. I've worked with Chime before. Chime is a fantastic individual. Someone that can always provide a reference for you. As long as you are a participant or an alumnus with analytics, you are sure of getting a reference from us to getting on the job support as well. And of course, mentorship sessions to what? Upwork optimization sessions. Because for some of us, we are actually looking to get into work as freelancers. And we're also going to show you how you can get started as an Upwork freelancer and how you can be successful in Upwork and as a freelancer in general. All of these things put together is what is going to give you that packaging that would help you put your best foot forward to the employer. Make the employer or the recruiter see you as the one for the job. And of course, by doing all of those things, it then moves you to the next thing, which is about applying to that job. Applying to that job. Apply like a machine, but with precision. And how do you apply? We assist you a whole lot in your application. And what do I mean by that? You have the analytics job board, which I will get into. But the very first thing is that you have to tailor every application, like I mentioned. You tailor every application and never, I repeat, never use a CV, never use a CV when applying to jobs because every job is unique. Ensure that that CV is tailored to that job description. And we're going to show you how you can tailor your CVs. And you also want to ensure that you're having 10 quality applications per day. At least 10 quality applications per day. to tapping into the paid and Indeed job market. How are you going to apply to 10? How are you going to apply to 10 quality? How are you going to get at least 10 quality applications per day? And how are you also going to be able to tap into the agent job market? Because for many of us, the only thing we know is things like LinkedIn. That's the only place you know to get jobs. That's the reason why we also provide you with the Analytics job board, where week in, week out, you are up, where week in, week out, you get free access to exclusive exclusive visa sponsorship jobs that can only be gotten from paid platforms. Because something that we've done is that we've paid for each and every one of these platforms, and we scrape the jobs and we send it to you guys for you to go ahead and apply to jobs. For many of us, you are looking at getting a visa sponsorship role, a role that's going to grant you visa sponsorship. We also provide that as well. And you get to see all of this in your classroom. As you can see it in here, a key strategy to apply and getting that job. Over here, you see, don't wait till you meet all the criteria, apply to that job. This is talking about the mentorship session. Because like I mentioned, as we mentioned in the packaging aspect, that you have to be mentored. And we have series of mentorship that is talking about how you can get that job, how you can keep on applying, teaching you how you can revamp your CV, teaching you how you can go ahead to apply to that job, how there are several tips and tricks that goes into this to ensure you get that job. And that is what those mentorship sessions provide. To, like I said, a key strategy to applying to that job, to navigating the job market, to also utilizing AI for job applications, to also unconventional job strategies. These are the things that you get to take a look at in the mentorship session, and the mentorship session happens weekly. You learn at your convenience, you learn anytime, you learn anywhere, you learn a class with industry experts, and of course, you can always ask questions and get feedback at any time. Okay, so of course, learning the 10 programs, that's 6 to 8 months from today. Where do you want to be? That's the 10 programs that we offer. The 10 programs from the data analytics to the data science to data engineering. We've talked about this earlier, and I'm sure that you've made the decision. I'm sure that you've also probably taken that personality test, which I showed you earlier. And so a question you might be asking yourself right now is that in 6 to 8 months, where do you want to be? Because think about it, we are at the end of the year, and for some of you, you're probably saying, oh, what did you achieve this year? It's not too late to start something. You don't have to wait till the next year for you to begin your tech journey. You can do that right now. Ask yourself, where do you want to be in the next 6 to 8 months? Where do you want to be? So, learn, focus, package yourself. That's with the employability skills. And of course, go ahead to apply. And doing all of this will get you that job, just like we've talked about. And yeah, we have lots of people. I mentioned Ikmat earlier. I don't think we've seen Ramat. Ramat was also able to get a job in the UK. We have Tony. We have lots of success story. We have Lois. We have Olua Damilare. We have Amaka. We have lots of testimonies. So this was Amaka. Amaka got a job with the as an HR analyst after completing the HR analytics program. Lots of people. I might not be able to go through each and every one of these testimonials due to time. From Pavel to Pavel posted on this page that, oh, I've been able to transition, got a job as a data analyst with Arizona community. So many people. And this one was telling us, thanks to the analytics team and everything that we're able to help him do to transition to getting that job in tech. So many testimonials, so many success stories. As soon as you get access to the slides, please ensure that you go through these testimonials. Ensure you go through these testimonials. It's very important. So you get to understand how these people were able to transition and how you can do same as well. So what skills must you have to land that job in 2025? We talked about the career path, but for each and every one of those career paths, what skills do you need? Looking at business analysis, for instance, for you to be a business analyst, the skills that you need skills like you need skills like you need skills like your Excel, Power BI, and SQL. And the reason for this is that we want to ensure that you have we want to ensure that you have please give me a moment. Just a moment. I just need to take some water. Moment, please. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. So we have the links to the testimonials. You can get the link from the slides, or you can just go to our YouTube page. Excuse me. You can go to our YouTube page, like our YouTube channel, rather, like I mentioned earlier, Chainalytics. And you're going to find a playlist of testimonials. You can take a look at the over hundreds and hundreds of testimonials that we have and that we have on there. So, what do you need to be a business analyst? You need to learn your Excel, your Power BI, and your SQL. Now, why? Because these are tools that a data analyst should know. These are tools that a data analyst should learn. So, why is the business analyst learning this? That's because we've noticed that we've noticed that recruiters want business analysts that have a flavor of data analytics. Okay, we have noticed that business analysts, that recruiters want business analysts that have a flavor of data analytics. So be able to also function as business data analyst. That's the reason why you begin by learning your Excel, Power BI, SQL, not as in-depth as what the data analyst will do, but you get to know how you can analyze data. And then you move into the business analysis proper, where you learn your process mapping, your project initiation planning, your agile scrum for projects, your SDLC, which is the software development lifecycle, to your recruitment fundamentals, your elicitation, stakeholder analysis and engagement, and also your ChatGPT for business analysis. As a business analyst, you are in charge of improving the company's processes. You are a process optimization specialist. You are in charge of ensuring that whatever the company says they want to do, they are able to achieve it. You are in charge of taking the company from point A to point B. You are in charge of ensuring that whatever the stakeholders want to be done is actually done. If there's a product that's being built, if there's a project that's been worked on, you get to gather these requirements from the stakeholders and get that delivered to and ensure that that is delivered to the technical stakeholders, and that particular project sorry about that, everyone. Okay, that particular project is actually worked on. A business analyst can be described as a professional that analyzes the business processes to improve the organization. And like I said, the skills that you learn, you have your Excel, your SQL, your Power BI. These are some of the tools that you work with. You have your Lucid Chat, you have your Draw.io, your Confluence, your Jira, your Trello, your Azure DevOps. These are some of the tools that you get to learn. And then you also have the Agile Project Management, which is the other program, the next program. And for you to be an Agile Project Manager, what you need to know, what are the skills that you need? You need to understand your introduction to project management methodologies, of course, which is the foundation, your Scrum events, such as your sprint planning, your sprint retrospective, your sprint review, what all of these things mean. You need to know how to work with the Nexus Scaled Scrum, understanding the Agile framework, which includes your Scrum, your Kanban, also your Lean, and also the understanding how you can function in a Agile environment, which is a blend of Agile and also the waterfall. So these are all of the things that you'll be learning, and of course, tools that you'll be working with. Your Confluence, you have your Jira, and you also have your Trello. As an agile project manager, you are more like a servant leader. You are guiding the project and about serving the team. You are in charge of ensuring that each and every one of the moving parts in that particular team is functioning together. Because when it comes to agile, you have iterations, you have a mechanism where you have different sets of people, different sets of the projects working together. So there's someone there that has to ensure that now that we have different parts working together, that we don't have chaos. Now that we have different parts being chopped into little sprints, we want to ensure that each and every one of those sprints, that people are actually doing what they should be doing. And that is where the agile project manager comes in. And of course, it's a really high demand skill, as we've been able to establish earlier. That's for the agile project manager. But what about if you want to get into something more data related? Say you want to be a data engineer. What do you have to know? You want to learn introduction to data engineering, very, very important. Your Python programming and your SQL. Python and SQL, this is what you call your bread and butter. It's like your bread and butter. It's like the bread and butter for every data engineer. You can't say you're a data engineer and you don't know SQL or Python. And then you want to learn your Linux, then you're building custom pipelines, you're building custom ETL pipelines, your databases, APIs, web scraping to your Apache Spark for big data processing, and also your Airflow for your data orchestration. You also get to learn cloud engineering using tools such as GCP, Azure, and also AWS. Tools you'll be learning: SQL, Python, Linux, PySpark, Airflow, like I mentioned. You also have your Journal.io for developing your database architectures, to your GitHub, your GitHub Copilot, your Google Cloud, your GCP, your Microsoft Azure, and of course, ChatGPT for what? For data engineering. And as a data engineer, what do you do? As a data engineer, what you do is that you help build pipelines, you help get the data from wherever the data is and provide it to the data professionals. Because think about it, every company, there are different career paths. You have the data scientists, for instance, the data analyst, the business analyst, even. These guys work with data, they analyze data. Who is in charge of getting that data from wherever it is and providing it to those people? That is the data engineer. So that's why it's called building pipelines. So the data engineer build these pipelines that will get the data from each and every one of these data sources, clean it up, ensure it's well structured, and then push it to a database for the data scientist, the data analyst, the business analyst, the financial analyst, all of the other career path that need this data, they can get this data and work with it. And then we have the data scientist. The data scientist, for you to be a data scientist, what do you need to know? You need to know your statistics, your forecasting and predictive analytics using Microsoft Excel. Because of course, as a data scientist, you are able to see the future. You are able to tell what is going to happen in the company or what isn't going to happen in a company. That's talking about your predictive analytics. So you have to understand forecasting, how you can carry a prediction using Excel, and then your Tableau for data analytics, your SQL, your Python programming, your exploratory data analysis, which is known as the EDA, the machine learning, and also the computer vision. Okay, machine learning, very, very important, because that is you building models, building machine learning models that will be able to predict, make predictions of a particular company or of a particular scenario or whatever the case may be. A data scientist focuses on two main kinds of analytics, talking about the descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, and also the predictive analytics. The diagnostic analytics and the descriptive analytics being you answer the question of what happened. So what happened in the past? What did we do in the past? Taking a look at the data and figuring out what was our last year revenue, what's our last year profit, and then you have the diagnostic analytics. You being able to figure out why did what happened happen? Why did we make this amount of money? Why did we have this amount of customers? Why did we have this amount of sales for this particular product? That's the diagnostic analytics. It's just like you being able to figure out what is the reason for something, diagnosis. And then, of course, the predictive analytics, which is you being able to predict what is going to happen in the future using things like your machine learning. The tools that you get to learn as a data scientist, because I mentioned your statistics, you have your Excel, your Tableau, your SQL, your Python, your GitHub, and also your Microsoft Fabrics for analytics. Then you have your data analyst. The data analyst is a professional that helps analyze data and help drive company decisions, help the organization make key company decisions that are data driven. That is the reason why for a data analyst, the very key thing you have to do is to know how to solve problems. Because if you can't solve problems, you are not a data analyst. You have to be able to solve problems using different frameworks, such as the CRIPS-DM framework, the 5 Whys, the McKinsey principle. You have the Pareto principle. You have the decision tree. All of those things, and then you move into Excel. Really understanding Excel, really understanding how Excel works, the use of Excel, to SQL, to Power BI, and also your Tableau and data storytelling, being able to tell stories using data, ChatGPT for analytics, and finally your Microsoft Fabrics for analytics. That is what you get to learn as a data analyst. All of those things, these are the major data professionals. And then you move into the financial analyst. Who is a financial analyst? The financial analyst is a data analyst, or a data analyst that focuses on financial data. The financial analyst helps maintain the health of the organization. The financial analyst helps maintain the financial health of the organization. The financial analyst ensures that a company ensures that whatever investment, whatever the company is looking to do, that they are making the right move financially. For you to be a financial analyst, you have to have data analytics skills and you have to have knowledge of finance. That is the reason why you learn problem solving, Excel, Power BI, SQL, which are also data analytics staples. And then you move into your accounting fundamentals, your financial analysis, your financial modeling, your valuation, your sensitivity and scenario analysis. All of these are financial terms. All of these are things that would help you become a financial analyst. Okay, and then we also have the HR analyst. The HR analyst, just like the financial analyst, is also a data analyst, but a data analyst that focuses on what? On financial, that focuses on HR data. I beg your pardon. What is the difference between the financial analyst and the HR analyst? The financial analyst is always looking at areas for cost optimization, using data, keynotes, looking at areas for cost optimization. What is the company's profitability? Assessing net profit margins, return and that's ROE, return on equity, and other profitability metrics that might help evaluate the overall financial health. Keyword: financial health. The financial analyst can also ask a question like, how does profitability compare to industry benchmark or competitors? Are we competing rightly with our competitors? Are we making enough money when you take a look at the industry benchmark? This context actually provides the insights into the company's relative performance. The financial analyst can also ask a question such as, what are the financial outcomes of a different investment options? I talked about this. When you have an organization trying to create some sort of a group, they're trying to expand. So now we want to invest. What are the financial outcomes? The financial analyst will go ahead to provide data-driven recommendations that will support informed decision-making. Asking questions such as, what are the financial outcomes of different investment options, just like I mentioned earlier. A financial analyst can also take a look at how should a company allocate its capital and all of that. And then what the HR analyst, what would the HR analyst do? The HR analyst, just like the financial analyst, answer questions based on finance. The HR analyst is taking a look at what's our retention rate with data, I might add. What's our retention rate? What's our talent acquisition rate? What's our employee satisfaction rate? What's our attrition rate? Is it high when compared to industry standards, or is it low? And if it's high, how can we use the data? What is the data telling us that we can be able to figure out what's causing attrition and get things sorted out so we can reduce attrition? Because the people is one of the major points of every company. And as an HR analyst, what you'll be learning, your problem solving, your Excel, your Power BI, your SQL, then you move to your HR KPIs and performance evaluation, to your absenteeism and attrition metrics, compensation and pay equity, collaboration and recruitment tracking. Your HRM, you're also going to get to learn how you can work with HRM because many organizations use some sort of HRM or the other. You learn how to work with Orange HR, and of course, these are all of the tools: your Power BI, your problem solving, Power BI, SQL, HR metrics, and also Orange HR, which is an example of one of the HR M's out there. This will give you that feel. This will give you that understanding of what it takes to be a HR analyst. And then, of course, the cybersecurity expert. For the cybersecurity expert is a professional that helps protect an organization. It's a critical role, I might add. It helps protect an organization from outside threats, outside cyber threats, ensuring that the company resource, that unauthorized access is not given to the company's resource. I'm going to rephrase. The cybersecurity analyst ensures that people that shouldn't have access to certain resources do not have access to it. And the great thing about the cybersecurity program in analytics is that it's divided into 4 major areas, from GRC to pen testing to SOC analysis and also threat intelligence. I am going to learn each and every one of these areas in the program. For GRC, for instance, which is the governance, risks, and compliance, these are the people that establish cybersecurity policies and procedures that align with the organizational goals and regulatory requirements. There are several different kinds of industry standards or frameworks to work with when it comes to the GRC. Frameworks like the ISO 27001, the NIST, the COBIT. These are robust security practices that you are going to get to learn as a GRC expert to ensuring the organization adheres to relevant laws, regulations, and industry standards such as the GDPR, HIPAA laws for those in the US, and also the PCI and the DSS laws, to maintaining thorough records of compliance activities and risk management. These are all things that the GRC expert does. And then for the threat intelligence and its incident response, the threat intelligence and incident response guys, they are always into threat identification. When they are analyzing, say, collected data to identify things like your emerging threats, threat actors and their tactics, techniques, and also the procedures. Being able to detect threats and being able to protect the organization from it. The threat intelligence specialists also develop and maintain an incident response plan just in case there's a breach somewhere. And then for the SOC analyst, that's the Security Operations Center. This is like the control room for cybersecurity. They are the defenders. That ensure that nothing is coming into the organization, not unauthorized is coming into the organization. So what the SOC analyst does, they watch for threats, they investigate alerts, they stop attacks. If there's a real attack, they stop it, and of course, they prevent future attacks. Are we still together? Okay, fantastic. Good to know we're still together, that we are following. So that's what the SOC analyst does. And this is an example of a SOC analyst. Let's take a look at like something like a day-to-day of a SOC analyst. So let's say the SOC analyst gets an alert that someone is trying to log into the bank system 100 times in a row from, let's say, a country where ABC Bank doesn't have any offices. Let's say there's a bank in let's say in the US, and the SOC analyst detects that there's a customer, there's someone that has been trying to gain access to the company's system 100 times in a row, and this login is coming from a country that the bank has no operations, say maybe North Korea, for instance. The SOC analyst will then go ahead to investigate. They will look at the logins and realize that the usernames being used belongs to employees from the finance team. So what did they now do? They go ahead to carry out findings where they discover if it was the kind of attack. What kind of attack was it? Is it a brute force attack? Are these people actually trying to get into this particular system? And they might notice that, oh, this actually looks like a brute force attack. And what's a brute force attack? Where you have a hacker that's trying to guess passwords, using multiple passwords and just trying to guess the right one, which now makes sense. The reason why they notice that there's someone trying to get access to the system 100 times in a row. So what would the SOC analyst now do? What is the action that will be taken? The SOC analyst would then go ahead to immediately block all login attempts from that country and forces all finance team members to change their passwords. And then also go ahead to put in prevention strategies, such as recommending multi-factor authentication, which is the MFA. So even a hacker guesses a password. So even if a hacker guesses a password, they are not going to be able to get into the system because they're going to require some sort of code. That's a SOC analyst. And then you have the pen testers. Who are the pen testers? The pen testers, these are the people trying to penetrate the company system to figure out if there are any loopholes or any places that needs to be sealed up. Those are like the attackers. As a cybersecurity analyst, what tools will you be working with? You have like tools like your Wireshark, your VMware, you have your Metasploit, you have your Splunk, your Azure, your QRadar, your Microsoft Defenders, your Linux. These are all skills that you'll be learning. Your Nmap as well. And then we also have the DevOps engineer. For a DevOps engineer, who are you? What do you do? A DevOps engineering is a set of practices, tools, and a cultural philosophy that automates and integrates processes between software development and operations team, ensuring that there's a fluid motion between the software software team and the operations team. So when the software team is saying that maybe they are building something new, it's easy for the operations team for that new product or that new app to seep into operations, for every other user at the other end to be able to use that application, to know how to be able to use that application seamlessly. And a lot goes into this, from the DevOps engineer testing out that particular app in different platforms, such as your Kubernetes, you're using different containerization, trying to mimic different systems. Using Docker, for instance, you mimic this kind of system, mimic that other kind of system to ensure that this particular application is actually going to work in different aspects. So a DevOps engineer they ensure that the developers and the operations team are the flow, keyword, the flow between the developers and the operations is as fluid as fluidity can ever be. And what are the skills that you're going to learn? You're going to learn the DevOps fundamentals and your Linux essentials, to your CI and CD and foundations, to containerization with Docker, your Kubernetes and your cloud deployment, to your infrastructure as code and monitoring, and also your DevSecOps, which is an aspect of cybersecurity in DevOps. All of these programs I've mentioned run for 8 months. When you have 6 months of learning, you get to learn for 6 months with analytics, and then you get to have your internship. You intern for another 2 months with Abdari. So 6 months of learning with analytics, and then 2 months of internship with Abdari. And of course, all your sessions are recorded and made available for you as well, because you have lifetime access to all sessions, both your self-paced learning and the live recorded sessions. The class timing, you have classes on Saturdays. So you have classes on Saturdays from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. specifically for the DevOps engineering. For the other programs I've mentioned, aside from DevOps, that's the data engineer, the data analyst, the business analyst, the data analyst, the HR analyst, financial analyst, business analyst, cybersecurity analyst, the agile project manager. You have classes for those in the US and those in the US and those in the UK. So let's say you're in the UK, you can take your class from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. UK time, which is equivalent to 11 p.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. And then for those in the UK, say maybe you don't have time in the morning, or maybe you're in the US and North America, you're looking at having your classes between 10 a.m. MST. You're looking at 10 a.m. MST to about 1 a.m. to 1 p.m. MST. That's Mountain Standard Time. But if you're looking to get into DevOps, So for the DevOps program is on Saturdays from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Watts every Saturday. And of course, you also have your self-paced Watch Me Do It videos because the program is a hybrid approach. You have your self-paced Watch Me Do It videos and you also have your live classes. Watch Me Do It videos, live classes, they go hand in hand. And then you have your mentorship sessions every 10 p.m. You have your mentorship sessions for those in Europe, in the UK, and parts of Africa as well by 10 p.m. Of West African time on Thursday. And for those in North America, you have your mentorship sessions by 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Thursday. And like I said, every session is recorded. Lastly, we go into product design. For you to be a product designer is not just a UI UX designer. Don't get it wrong. A product designer, rather, is someone that is in the business of figuring out how something should work in an organization. That is why, as a product designer, when you design an application, a product designer will go ahead to run tests, carry out things like A and B testing, whereby you check out the new design, the new website that has been designed or the new application that has been designed, and check out the usability. The users actually using a certain feature. Are they using the application more now than before that app was redesigned? Is there a certain button that people are always clicking on? Is there a certain point is there a certain part of the application that you are having they're having high bounce rate, or you're having people spending lots of time there? That is what it takes to be a product designer. And as a product designer, you also get to work in the Scrum team. So you need to understand some agile principles because you are going to be working with the Scrum team, with the developers, the business analysts, the agile project managers, and every other person. So what do you need to know? You have your UX foundations and research, where you get to understand the introduction to products and UX design, your human-centered and inclusive design principles, to understanding the UX design process, conducting UX research, and lots and lots and lots more. To your usability testing and portfolio, and AI in product design, because we're in the world of AI. So you want to learn how you can also use AI to complement your job. Not that you're going to use it alone, but to complement your job, to make you more efficient and to make you more productive. Then you also learn your wireframes, your visual design, and your prototyping. How you can build wireframes, visual design, and prototyping. Tools that you'll be working with, tools such as your Figma, your Claude, your Notion, and also your Miro as well. Those are the tools that you're going to be working with. And for the product design program, it's a 4-month program. 4 months, not 8 months. It's a 4-month program where you get to learn for 3 months. You have 3 months of learning, and you have 1 month of internship with Amdari. So you get to learn for 2 months with analytics, and you get to have your an internship, a 1-month internship with Amdari. For every other program I mentioned earlier, it's for 8 months, 6 months learning, 2 months internship. But for product design, it's for 4 months, 2 months learning, 1 month internship. Class timing similar as DevOps. That's you have classes on Saturday from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. West African time, and of course your mentorship sessions as well. So which of the program are we looking to go for? Based off all of the talk so far, what do you think is the best bet for you? Is it product design? Is it DevOps? Is it data analytics? The HR analytics? The financial analytics? Which do you think is the best bet for you? What do you think? What would you like to get into? I'd like to know. Okay, so Fifth for me say cybersecurity. Okay, great. So Fifth for me is looking to get into cybersecurity. What about the rest of us? What are you looking to get into? Peace. What do you want to do? Olamide, what do you want to do? Dosa, what do you want to do? I need everyone to speak. Okay, so we have Chidera wants to get to data analytics. Great. Chidima is looking at business analysis. Fantastic. That's a great one. We have data science from Annie. Oppo says business analysis. Oladapo says financial analytics or data science. iPhone says data analytics. Okay, great. So those are great career paths. So now that we are looking to get into one of this, because we've spent lots of time, close to 2 hours now, talking about how you are going to be able to transition with little to no experience and to get a job. So now that you're looking to get started, how do you get into that? How can you actually start today? Simple. All you have to do is to join our next cohort, which is going to begin in December 6th, 6th of December, which is just a couple of weeks from now. So how do you get into the program? How do you go ahead to register? Easy, just a moment. So at the moment, we are currently running a 50% discount. It's our 5-year anniversary. Our 5 years anniversary. So we are running a 50% discount for a couple of people. What's happened? The reason why we're running this discount is that we had some organizations that partnered with us just to celebrate the 5 years anniversary. So they also decided to offer a 50% scholarship. So a certain number of people, and of course, that's what we've been doing. So for a while now, it's been going great. Lots of people have been registering. This scholarship might actually be exhausted pretty soon. So of course, you want to see how you can go ahead to register as soon as possible, because like I said, it's another, we have collaborators that are working on with us, trying to get this scholarship out there. So once it's done, once they say, oh, we are done, it's good, they are done. Okay, so this is not only Analytics sponsored, if you get what I mean. So the with the 50% discount, instead of you paying $1,000, what you're going to pay instead is that you're going to be paid, getting 50% off, and you get to pay $500 instead. That's for the 8 month program: DevOps, business analysis, data analytics, data science, data engineering, cybersecurity, HR analytics, financial analysis, agile project management. You get to pay $500 by getting that 50% off. And then if you want to be a product designer, you get to pay $200 instead. And the great thing about this is that you can break it down into 4 installments. So you don't have to pay everything at once if you are unable to. So you can go ahead to break this down into multiple installments by paying $125 per month. And the great thing now is that we also have a second offer, because it's our 5-year anniversary, and we've been having a series of events, a series of sessions, 5 years of helping everyone transition, of having people looking to get into tech, helping them transition. 5 years. It's been amazing so far. And so we've been having a series of events. That's why we also have a second offer for you, where the first 20 people that are able to register, you get to participate in an exclusive session on how to get the Tech Nation endorsement and apply for the Global Talent Visa. For many of us, we are looking to get the GTV, that's the Global Talent Visa, and we are curious about how to get into this. So we are having a session on this, and this is an exclusive session. It's not a general session where you see links everywhere. So if you want to get access to this, this is just for the first 20 people to register today. If you're able to get on this bandwagon and you're able to register today, we get your details. You're going to be invited to this session for you to see how you can benefit from the Global Talent Visa, the steps, because we're going to be bringing experts that have been able to do this, people that have been able to get the GTV, that would also educate you on how they were able to do this and how you can do this as well. So, like I said, first 20 people to get that done, first 20 people to register today, you are going to get access, that exclusive access to that session. And of course, Analytics, we're accredited by the ACTD, that's the American Council of Training and Development. And by so doing, we have, you are going to be getting the ACTD logo on the certificate, which is globally recognized. Just for those that are very, very much interested in, oh, am I going to be getting the certificate? Yes, you are. So please go ahead to register as quickly as possible. I'm going to take questions. Okay, and of course we have more success story, people thriving after training with Analytics. But I'm going to take questions. If you have a question, you can just use the raise hand icon. I might take maybe a question or two. You can use the raise hand icon. I'll call on you to ask your question. I'll ask you to unmute, and then you can ask your question. And if not, that's good. So we also have some other success stories where people that have been thriving after trading with us at Analytics. And of course, we have lots of people that have been able to transition from the healthcare, and they were able to get a job. I'm just trying to start. Okay, I can see I have some questions. Okay, I'm going to ask you to unmute now, Annie. So, Annie, please go ahead and ask a question.
Hello, good day. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So, sorry, I have multiple of questions to ask. So, for the timing of on Saturday class,
Yeah.
what's the US Canada time again?
Okay, sorry, I didn't get you. So you said for the timing of Saturday class, what's the what?
The US and Canada time. I didn't get the
Okay,
US and Canada time.
okay. For the US and Canada time, for aside from DevOps and product design, for every other program, the US and Canada time is 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. MST. MST. You know, in Canada and the US, there are several time zones. You have the EST, you have MST,
Yeah,
depending on your
like I
location.
get it.
Yeah. So it's 10
Okay,
a.m.
MST.
to 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. MST.
Okay. Okay. So and you said just on Saturday and Thursdays are the classes, right? Okay, Thursday is for the
I'm sorry
mentorship.
for interrupting. Sorry for interrupting, Samuel. It's quite difficult to hear you. I think this is for my end. So just give me a moment for me to switch something real quick.
Okay.
You can go ahead, please.
Okay. So then the classes they are on Thursdays and Saturdays. Thursdays for mentorship, Saturdays for the class.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, okay. For the interview class, for the interview section, so do you prepare for the interview for every interview application that the person gets? Like if I put up let me say 10 job applications, and I'm called for 10 interviews, can you be able to prepare me for each of the interviews, or just only for one?
Absolutely. We can prepare you for each and every one of the interviews. So the way it works, as soon as you get an interview, you go to your classroom or the LMS, you're going to see a place that says schedule an interview prep. So you click on that, you check out the availability of the experts out there, because you're going to see a list of experts and you can choose from anyone that you want to prep you. And then you're going to see their availability and then you can schedule a time and you'd have a one-on-one conversation. You will have a one-on-one conversation with that expert for that interview. And over for multiple interviews, you even noticed in some of the testimonials I showed and that we listened to, you notice that we said multiple interview preps because sometimes it takes more than one interview to finally land that job. We totally understand. Either maybe it takes more than one interview to finally land a job. I would still understand. And sometimes for the job, it takes more than one interview for you to land that job. So maybe you'd have the first stage, the second stage, the third stage, the fourth stage, whatever the case may be. So for each and every one of those things, we can definitely prep you. And that's what we do because you get to book that session.
That sounds good. Then the
Yeah.
next question is for the remote jobs, for people in Africa, for example, in Nigeria, most of the foreign jobs require you to get a work permit, maybe in US, in Canada, or UK. So if you don't have that kind of work permit and you are not in that region, how can you be able to land the job?
Okay, great. So, for you to get sponsored, for you to work remotely in, let's maybe you're in Nigeria or wherever the case may be, it used to be a whole lot easier. Okay, it used to be a whole lot easier. It's not as easy as it used to be, and that's due to, I'm sure we are all aware of the recent immigration talks across the world, really. So at the moment, how then do you go about that? There are several ways. Either you go as a freelancer. Most times you're asked for a work permit if you are looking to get a full-time role with an organization abroad. So let's say you are in Nigeria and you want to work for a company in the US, then you are usually asked for a work permit due to the fact that they want to ensure that they are abiding with the US laws. But another way to go to bypass all of that is by acting as either a freelancer or a contractor, because that way the company is absolved of this particular employee, if you get what I mean, because you are being hired as a separate entity, as a company, if you get what I mean. That's as a contractor. So that's it. So for getting the work permit, it's not really like something so easy that you can do. Of course, for many organizations, you can still get that remote work. It's still very, very much possible. Just that some companies are not really willing to do the work that it requires to get someone hired that way. Hence the reason why most of the work will fall on you in getting your contractor license or whatever the case may be. But if you're looking to freelance to work for organizations abroad while in Nigeria, that is a whole lot easier. There are platforms like Upwork that you don't really require any such you need a permit of some sort, and you just you get to work with multiple companies, and of course that means earning in foreign currencies as well. In this case, it's going to be in dollars. And yeah, it doesn't get better than that, really.
Okay, so do you help your clients to maneuver through that process, or is that something I would do on my own?
Yeah, so we guide you for whatever it is you are looking to do. You can always reach out to us and we guide you. We have sessions I talked about the mentorship sessions. We have the sessions every Thursday, and these are sessions that you can ask any question, any such question. So if you're looking, and I'm sure that's what you're looking to do as well, Samuel, you're looking to get that job while working in Nigeria, get that job from another country, working remotely. Yes, we guide you. We'll tell you what you need to do. I talked about Upwork. I talked about that we're going to have Upwork optimization sessions dedicated to showing you how you can be a successful freelancer. Those are examples of how we guide you. I would also provide tips and tricks on how you can get all of these things done. Like I said, right now, it's no longer it's not as easy as it used to be then, okay, but it's still very much possible. And one way that you go about it is by employing in mass, in bulk. If someone is looking to get a job within their residence and they are told to apply to 10 jobs per day, you're looking to get a remote job outside, you should be applying to not less than 20 jobs per day. Because trust me, you are going to get lots and lots of rejections telling you, oh, sorry, we noticed that you're not in this location. If we need your skills, we're going to reach out. You're going to get lots of them that way. You're going to get some that would ask you for some more details later on, and you're going to get some that would just be outright rejection. So you're going to have to widen your pool. The more jobs you apply to, the better your chances. In this case, we're not then looking at a numbers game. As long as you've been able to get every other thing right, from your CV to your LinkedIn and every other thing that we talked about earlier.
Okay, so then the next question is the apps and software you listed in the presentation. Is this something I get myself, or you provide that? Because I noticed that some of them are paid or subscribed for.
Great. Yes. So for those tools, you are going to be getting them yourself, but you are not going to be for many of the tools. We understand that many of our participants, that we're always trying to ensure that you are able to go through the program with no extra cost in terms of your tools. So what we do is that for many of these tools, you are shown they have free plans, they are free models, free plans that you get to be shown how you can sign in and get to use these tools. Jira, for instance, Jira has a premium version, but there's also a free plan that contains almost everything that you can get from the premium version. The premium version just being the fact that you can invite more than, I think, 30 people on your team, while the free version is like 10 people, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the same situation for each and every one of those tools. So for many of them, during the free trial period, you're going to be able to learn everything that you need to learn during that, that particular topic in class. And then later on, if you're looking to maybe you need the tool later on, and then you can get that sorted. But for most of the tools, most, and I use that word knowingly, I can't even say all of the tools, really, 99%, you're not necessarily going to need, you're not going to need to do some sort of a subscription. Most of these tools are free. Looking at Excel, for instance, Microsoft Excel is a free tool, but then you'd have some people that want to go ahead to purchase M365, so you can use like the application. But if you want to use M365 online, that's the free Excel version. That's free as well. So I hope I answered the question, Samuel.
Yes. Then the last question is what's the major difference between data analyst and scientist, or is there any overlap in the job description?
Okay. So the major difference between data analytics and a data analyst and a data scientist is that a data analyst focuses on two major types of analytics, the descriptive and the diagnostic. Descriptive being the fact that you are able to answer the question, what happened? So historical data, you're taking a look at what happened last year, what happened last month, what happened 2 months ago. Okay, so you're figuring out what's the revenue, what's the revenue, what's the revenue, for instance, what's the profit like? What did we do last year? How many customers did we serve? Historical data. And also diagnostic analytics, which is talking about why did it happen? So now that you figured out what happened, if it's something, let's say we made $10 million in profit and we had projected we're going to make $2 million. Oh, we made $10 million. Fantastic. So that's, look, on knowing that we made $10 million is descriptive analytics. And then now that we know we made $10 million, we want to figure out why did we make that amount of money? What did we do that helped us make that money? And then you're now going to diagnostic analytics, which is you figuring out why did this happen so we can replicate it and keep doing it over and over and over again. That's for the data analyst. The data scientist adds one more analytics to what they focus on, and that is the predictive analytics. The data scientist is also able to now predict what is going to happen in the future. So, but in the next 2 years, in the next 2 years, in the next 4 years, we're going to make this amount of money. In the next 5 years, we're going to make this amount of money. That was something, what has not happened, you are able to predict it. That's the key difference for the data analyst and the data scientist. So the data scientist, you use tools such as your Python, know how to build machine learning models, you understand statistics, and your computer vision as well, and also your SQL, your Tableau, and your Excel. And then for data analyst, you're looking at problem solving, which is very important. You're looking at your Microsoft Fabrics, your ChatGPT for analytics, your Power BI, looking at your Tableau, and also Excel and your SQL.
Okay, so from your explanation, that means a data scientist can do the job of a data analyst perfectly well. Is that what you're trying to say? And also do extra.
Yes, that's what it means. A data scientist can work as a data analyst, but I say that carefully because I know that is going to like make so many people, oh, you know what? I'm going to go become a data scientist so I can so if I learn one program, I get to apply to 2 jobs. Like I get to getting 2 for the price of 1. Okay, I know that that's the thought of many people, but data science, you don't have to do that. Data analytics also has its own opportunities, which are many of our participants, we get this a lot. People say it is like, oh, many of our participants, we see testimonials a lot on data analytics, and that's due to the fact that there are so many data analytics roles available. So you don't have to feel pressure that, because there's data science and you want to learn data science so you can work as a data scientist and data analyst, that then you go ahead to learn data science, because data science is more technical than data analytics. And so for data analytics, you get to it's still technical. You still need to put in the work, but it's a tad bit. Maybe I don't want to use the word easier, so you don't think it's a walk in the park, because it's not. You, of course, you have to put in the work and you leave the rest to us, and we're going to help you out. But you don't work with as much coding. Let's put it that way. You don't code as much in data analytics as in data science. The only coding you have in data analytics is your SQL, which is, I don't really think that's coding. I just think it's a language for databases, really, because it's quite simple and straightforward.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me allow other people to ask their own questions. But the last one, after landing the job for about 3 or 4 months into the program, can I still continue the program?
Okay, yes, definitely. So once you get a job, we don't push you away, of course. Actually, we get to it's usually the other way around because we have so many people that get jobs within the program, and then we start calling them every single time to come to class, and they're like, "Oh, I have to go to work." Because some individuals, when they get a job, they might feel, "Oh, what's the? I don't really think I need to continue. Let me just focus on my job." That's to show you how good we are in ensuring that you are able to land that job. So once you get a job, yeah, definitely you can continue the program.
Thank you so much.
Sure, no problem. Thank you very much, Samuel. I can see a couple of answers raised. Just in case I'm not able to take every question, please do note that you can book a clarity session. And of course, we have fantastic professionals right there that you can speak you can speak to. You can have that conversation with and ask any and every question. Okay, just in case I'm not able to take everyone's question. So the admin will be sending the link to book a session to the group chat to the community. So you can just click on that and ensure that you book a session to speak with a professional. Michael, please go ahead.
Right. Good evening, Ashosa. I hope I got the name right.
Yeah,
Good
close
evening,
enough.
everyone. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. I think that was a quite insightful section by you.
Thank you.
A quick one. I've just got two questions. I need a little bit of clarification. I just want to know during the classes, would there be a recorded section that will be uploaded in our VLE?
Absolutely. Every session is recorded, and you have
Okay.
lifetime access.
All right, thank you. And the second question is, if you don't mind, I would like you to throw more insight on the global talent visa you spoke about. Is it gonna be
Yeah.
a kind of a section or a kind of a prep or something? Can you please explain more about that, please? Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, sure. So that it's a session, like I said, it's exclusive. So I don't even think I should be spilling all the tea on this call. Okay. It's an exclusive session that are just for the first we're gonna send invites to the first 10 people that register today. But what that session is gonna be about is showing tips and tricks on how you can apply for the global talent visa and actually get the global talent visa. So there are gonna be experts in there that you get to speak to and also ask questions. So that's about that. I don't want to say more. So yeah, but so it's an addition. It's not part of the program. So it's just like something that we're doing right now. And we just thought, okay, let's put that up for those that might want to. That's just like a raffle draw. Maybe you could think about it that way. Okay, Michael, I believe those were your two questions. Do you have any other question?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that's were just my two questions, and I've already registered for data science, so that's why I need the clarification. So I would really appreciate if the link could be sent to me because I've got some other thing I will need to speak with the professional about that.
Okay, sure.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
All right,
Thank
I
you very
appreciate
much.
that. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. So I'll note that down so we can. Okay, thank you. So next we have Olamide. Olamide, please go ahead.
Right. Good evening, and thanks for the lecture. It was so sweet and understandable.
Thank
You
you.
really put a lot of explanation that everyone would like to take the juicy package, like, oh no, I can grab it immediately. But then before today's class, I think I have registered and I've even paid part of my money anyway. But the only thing I'm worried about is no one contacted me to say, okay, we've seen your payment and okay, this is when do you want to start the class or what's the timetable all about? Fine. I did pick January 2025 anyway. So I don't know, maybe that is the reason why no one has contacted me yet. One. Two, I'm trying to log in and I can see that I have to watch some video, what is it called? Guideline or setup whatsoever for me to, is it until I do that before someone will contact me, like how to install MX, Excel, watch the video before you could continue. So I just want to know if I might need a private, discussion, someone should just let me know, so I'll be able to prepare myself and get ready for that. And aside aside the fact that I register, I've also introduced about 2 of my guys. One of them registered today, although the person is not in this class. So I hope they will be able to benefit. Fine, I can see they can have the 50% discount. That was what we chose anyway. So yeah, so I don't know if that would be an advantage for them to get into seeing the brochure training, access to the brochure, since they were not here. So I don't know, is there a way they will get that so that they can as well read through and get to know which exact program? I chose data analyst, but with today's class, I may say probably I've choose the wrong thing, but why I won't bother is because this is I don't have any knowledge of that. I used to be a what's it called, a business analyst, like a credit analyst when I was in Nigeria, where I work in a bank as a marketing associate. So of course that's a kind of credit analyst. But then now I'm choosing data analyst. So I'm thinking if I have choose the right program, or at least to start with something, I don't mind doing the data analyst. But if someone can mentor me and tell me, oh, this is what you should have done, we can do this, then I'm good to go. That's it.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Olamide. So I'm going to take a look at that. Apologies that you've not been contacted. So we'll take a look at that and someone will contact you. But also, you should have received an email just confirming your payment. So I hope you received that. Just check your email. And then
Yes, please, I got that.
Oh, fantastic. So I'll bring this up with the team to ensure that someone reaches out to you, just to ensure that you confirm your payments, and if you have any questions that you get to ask as well. Sincere apologies about that. And you asked about the brochures. So yeah, you can get the brochures from the website. I don't know if wow, can you see my screen? So all you have to do, just go to the website. So this is the website. Okay, so once you that's www.analytics.io. It's going to open this up and you're going to see courses. So by clicking on courses, it opens up the various courses available. And then let's say data analytics, for instance, you can click on buy now and you're going to see download brochure. So over here, you can read more details about the program. But if you actually want to go through the brochure, you can click on this and you're going to download the brochure and you see, I think you take a look at over the 90 pages or thereabouts of information of step-by-step information, data analysis broken down, everything you're going to be getting in the program from point A to point Z. That would also help you make a decision. So you have these for each and every one of the programs, and you can use that in downloading the brochure. And then you also mentioned the fact that at the moment, you asked about the fact about if you have to complete the MS Excel, that complete the onboarding checklist on the LMS before you are contacted. So the answer is no. You should have been contacted already, but you have to actually complete the onboarding checklist for you to get access to the LMS and start watching your videos. I understand that you're going to you're looking at resuming in January, so that's fine. So, but you have to complete the onboarding checklist just so you know you're ready for the program. Because without completing it, you're not really going to get access to your dashboard. Okay, and so and then lastly, you talked about not being so sure about the program you decided to go for. So if you're not sure, please feel free to speak with a professional. Feel free to book a clarity session. That's how can we help you get a job. That's what it's called. Okay, so please feel free to book a session with a professional, and you would just tell them, okay, these are my concerns, this is what we're trying to do, and we're going to be able to advise you on the best program to go for. I can see a question. Oindamola is asking, can we pay in naira, please? Yes, you can pay in naira. So once you go to the job, to the website. So let's say, so once you come over here, okay, let's show my screen. So let's say I want to, so this is me on the website right now. Let's say I want to make payments for data analytics. After selecting data analytics, I'm going to click on enroll now, and it's asking me to sign in. So if you've not signed in, if you don't have If you don't have an account, it's going to ask you to sign in. But if you already have an account, so if you don't set up an account, it's going to ask you to sign up. But if you already have an account, you can just click on sign in. So I can click on sign in, my email address. I'll just enter, and then it's going to load up. So over here, I can see my you can see over here, you can see this is in there. So let's say you want to pay in there, or you want to pay in pounds, you want to pay in there, whatever the case may be, you can switch the currency. So over here, you can see you have Naira, you have pounds, you have euros, you have Canadian dollars, and you also have the USD, that's US dollars. So let's say, oh, you know what, I want to pay in dollars. I can switch this and I'm going to pay in dollars. You see, with this drop down. If you want to pay in card, you can pay in card, or if you want to pay in euro, you can pay in euro. If you want to pay in pounds, or if you want to pay in there. So you have that option. Or in I can see a lot of answers raised, but I'll try to let's see how far we can go. Next we have Chidera. Hello, Chidera. Please go ahead.
Hi, good day.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, so I have some questions. The first one is please, what is the time for UK? Like the Saturday, what is the time? Like if I want to study data analytics and I'm in UK.
Okay. So the time it's 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. UK time. Okay, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. UK time. Now, if you're not available at that time, you can also decide to join the evening session, which is from 5 p.m. to 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, sorry, I have more. I have two more. So the second one is the attendance form shows April 5th, and the Zoom meeting says December 6th. Like attendance form shows April 5th as the next I don't know if it's as the next session. It says when do you want to start, and the first thing I can see there is April 5th, and the Zoom meeting says December 6th. Just in case, after December, which one is correct? And after December 6th, December, okay, thank you. Which one is the next one after December 6th, please?
So we have a quarter in January. So we have a quarter that begins every month.
Okay, every month. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
every
you.
month.
Okay, the last one is say for instance, I studied computer science, and then they taught for as a top up for 9 months. So one of the courses or the modules is SQL. So if it takes that long to study SQL, will the platform teach me all about SQL, or like how am I going to learn it in 6 months?
Fantastic question.
Yeah.
Chidera, during the session, I mentioned something that it's about focusing on the skills the employers need, and not just learning randomly. When it comes to SQL is a major tool, but it's used in different ways for different programs. The way data engineer uses SQL is different from the way data analyst uses SQL. A data analyst usually focuses on what we call the DQL and probably the DDL as well. No, the DQL and the DML, which is the data query language, which is what you're actually using querying the database. And you have the data, I think the DML, that's data manipulation language. For the data engineer focuses more on the DDL, which is the data definition language, because it's when they're bringing data from different sources and they're going to have to create the new databases to push this data in. So there are different aspects that you need to focus on. So what we are doing right now is we are giving you the skills that you need to land that job. Now that does not mean that after you've landed a job, you cannot go ahead to upskill to learn even more. But what is going to get you the job? That's what we focus on. That's what we
Okay.
focus on, and that's what we've been doing for a while. And of course, you can see the success that we've gotten with that. So it depends. What we do is that we take a look at the program you are in, and that's what we focus on. For example, as a data analyst, you are not going to be learning forecasting with Excel. We're going to learn Microsoft Excel. But if you're a data scientist, you're going to be learning forecasting with Excel, because forecasting is necessary for a data scientist, but not necessary for a data analyst. So what some people would do is, because they don't have any guidance, they go learn Excel and they learn everything about Excel, spend 1 year in Excel, and what they're learning, they don't need it for in their job role.
Okay, thank you. So sorry, thank you. I understand that now. And then the last one is, say for instance, because I'm seeing about 11 key learning areas in data science as a data scientist that I have to learn. So can someone learn all these 11 areas in 6 months? All of them?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay, no
I know
worries.
I know it sounds fictitious. Okay, I know it sounds fictitious, but then it's possible. We've done it over and over again. But there's something that you need to do as well. You need to be committed. You need to be fully focused. That's why under the learn aspect at the bottom there was focus, because it's going
Yeah.
to take a lot of work from you. You have to attend your classes. You have to work on your assignments. You have to work on your projects. All of those things. It would not be possible in 6 months if you don't do your part. So all you need to do is just show up and let us handle the rest. And you'll be amazed at how far you'll come in 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you
Sure.
for answering them.
No
Okay.
problem.
That's all for me.
Okay. Thank you, Chidera. Next we have Gracie. Hello, Gracie. Go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Your voice is very, very low.
Is it much better now?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So basically I have a question and I just wanted to know what the difference between data analyst and business analyst, because I do have a business background, and prior to this session, I really wanted to do data analyst, but after this session and getting more clarity, I think business analyst is I'm leaning more towards business analyst. So I was wondering if you could just give me some clarification.
Okay. So the difference between a business analyst and a data analyst is that a business analyst focuses on processes, while a data analyst focuses on data. A business analyst is someone that helps ensure let me give you a quick example. I think this will drive it home. Let's say you have a business, or there's a company that is into delivery, and it takes them 5 days to deliver an item. There's a process that it takes to get that item delivered in 5 days. So the customer has to make a call, make an order or a booking or whatever the case may be, and then probably ship the item. The item goes to another place, goes to another place. Like, there's a process that it follows before it eventually gets to the palms of the customer. And then let's say there's a competitor that does 2 days delivery, 2 days delivery. Because of the 2 days delivery, it's going to lead to company A losing business, losing money, because you have customers going towards the 2 day delivery, because no one wants to have to wait 5 days for their item to be delivered. To be able to fix that, company A decides to bring the business analyst. And what the business analyst is supposed to do? The business analyst went ahead to map out the current process, which is known as is. What are we doing at the moment? But map it out using a tool called Draw.io or Lucid Charts, where they get to see how everything moves from step by step, till it gets to the palms of the customer. And they try to find ways to optimize that process. Instead of having the customer making a call, why don't we have a website that will make it faster for the customer to make orders? Instead of having to walk, instead of having to let's say, instead of having cost, maybe having some instead of having, say, someone pick the call or someone having to write the order down, why don't we have these AI agents that's going to be able to do things a whole lot faster? Or instead of having to use trains in delivering the items, why don't we use bikes? Or why don't we use teleportation? Why don't we invent a teleportation device where you just place the item in there and it gets teleported to the palms of the customer immediately? I know that's fictitious, but you get what I mean. So that's the process. That's the optimize the process. So how can we reduce that 5 days delivery to at least 2 days delivery to be able to meet up with our competitors? And right now, it sounds very easy just the way I'm putting it, but that it's not so, because for you to create that process map, it's not just, oh, you see, then I'll start creating process map. No, you have to also meet with the stakeholders, carry out elicitation, understand the business problems, and all of those things. And take a look at gap analysis as well, trying to identify the gap in the business and how you can move them from point A to point B. All of those things put together before you go ahead to analyze, to develop your process map. So there's a whole lot for a business analyst, there's a whole lot of documentation. There's a whole lot of speaking to people. It's a technical role, but it's a role that is rooted in communication. You've been able to speak to people, you've been able to get what you want, you've been able to hold meetings. And then for a data analyst is a professional that analyzes data and help the company make data-driven decisions. So, oh, we want to do this. What does the data say? The data analyst comes in and says, oh, this is what the data is telling us, this is what the data is telling us. And based on this is what I think we should do. That's the main difference.
Okay. Okay. And per statistics, which one is of higher demand?
Both of them are of equal to demand. Okay, so I know that's a very popular question, Gracie, because of course we are all always trying to get into the career path where we know we're not going to get any stress at all. And that's the reason why we have this 10 career path. We could have decided to do, say, robotics engineering, for instance, because robotics engineering is a great career path, high in demand, but it's not easy. Okay, it's not easy to learn. That's talking about the three major criteria that we have for each and every one of our programs. Easy to learn, easy to transition, and what? High rewarding salary. So there are some programs that are easy to learn, but they're not easy to transition into, and they have high rewarding salary. So each and every one of our program met these three criteria. Ease of transitioning is talking about the number of roles available. Something you can do, Gracie, you can do a quick test. You can where are you located? Are you in the UK, the US?
I'm in the US.
You're in the US. Okay. You can go on any job board. You can go on, say, Built-in. For those in the UK, you can try out read.co.uk. For the US, you can check out Built-in. Okay, check out that website, and I want you to search for data analyst roles and check for the number of roles that were uploaded just today. I'm not saying since time immemorial. No, just today. And also check for the number of business analyst roles that were uploaded just today. I'm going to see that there are a lot of roles in both sides. A lot of roles in both sides. Even go on read.co.uk, for instance, for those in the UK, you probably see nothing less than 100 roles that have been uploaded on the job sites just today for data analysts and business analysts each. Just today, earlier I talked about the fact that when you're applying to jobs, you should not be applying to jobs that were uploaded 2 weeks ago, 1 month ago, 2 months ago, but rather jobs that are fresh. That's where you know that the chance of this role still being opened is very, very high. It's very, very high. So you want to say, you know what, I want to apply to 20 roles per day. It's very possible for you to apply to 20 new roles every day. Like 20 roles that were just uploaded on the job site today, you get to apply to 20 jobs that were just created today. You get to apply to those jobs. So you can check it out, business analyst and data analyst. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I feel when you see it yourself, you'll be more inclined to believe.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I think finally we have Triumph. Hello, Triumph. Please go ahead.
Hello, good evening or good day.
Hello.
Please,
Yeah.
please, I hope you are hearing me properly. My question is, you said getting a work permit might be a little bit difficult. I'm in Nigeria currently.
Yeah.
It will be a little bit difficult. It dropped my morale a little. I don't know. Is it worth it? Because I know it's a little bit difficult to get through with Upwork. I've tried severally with Upwork. It's a little bit difficult. So I don't know how you can. I don't know. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
No, but I think you understand. Okay. I think you understand what you mean, Triumph, and I'll try my best to answer your question. And if I don't get what you're saying, just call me back, okay? So you asked the question, is it worth it? Definitely. If it sounded yes. Because even within Nigeria, I understand that for many individuals looking to work remotely and maybe for a different country and due to the currency, it's you live quite well, which is a fantastic stuff. But even within Nigeria, there are also so many tech roles available even within that location, which is something that should not be slept upon. But looking at your goal and what you are actually looking to achieve, which is to get work remotely, is it worth it to do something to go ahead for the program? The answer is yes. Why? Because we've had people that have achieved what you are looking to achieve at the moment. An example is Moidin. We had Moidin that got a job working remotely with a company in the UK, one in Nigeria. We have Abdul Rashid that got a company working with Chow 420, I believe that's what it's called. That was Chow 420, I believe it was in Canada or was in the UK. But the name of the company is Chow, like CHOW, I think Chow 420, while in Nigeria, working as a data engineer. So it's not fictitious. Just the at analytics, our goal is to make your dreams come true, like I said. And that's the reason why we have conversations like this and we tell you as it is that, okay, this is the situation. And it's not private knowledge with the recent crackdown on Trump saying, oh, 900,000 for H-1B visa, okay, but a couple of months ago. So we tell it as it is. In the year 2020, was it a whole lot easier than now? Definitely. But does it mean it's impossible now? No. You talked about the fact that, oh, you've tried Upwork severally. Yes, you've tried Upwork. So many people have tried Upwork. But the fact you tried something does not mean that you did it the right way. It's just like some individuals that have probably been trying to transition for the past 10 years, past 5 years, and they've not been able to get a job in tech. And that's due to the fact that you have the skills, you're actively trying it out, but you're not going about it the right way. And that is why we are here to guide you. That's the reason why we are here to guide you. Just the way you have individuals that have been on Upwork for 5 years, that's the way you have individuals that within 3-4 months, they get their first gig on Upwork. And I'm not even kidding. So it's all about knowing how to go about it. Because on Upwork, a quick tip. On Upwork, it's not even the first thing that you have to overcome is even getting clients to view your proposal. That's like the very first thing you have to overcome. You can apply to like 10 different jobs, 15 different jobs, and of course you use Connect and apply to that job due to the fact that you use Connect. So you don't just apply randomly. So you can apply to 20 different jobs, and at the end of the day, you just get one opened. One opened, like just one proposal opened. So it takes a lot of, there are different tips and tricks, different things that you can do to get it done. So to answer your question, Triumph, yes, it is worth it. Are you there? Are you there, Triumph? Okay, I guess not. But we're gonna be ending this session. Yeah, I can see some more answer raised, but I'm not gonna be. We need to call it a day. Okay, so we need to call it a day. So please, if you have a question and I did not answer your question, please ensure you book a clarity session. Okay. How can we get a job? That's what the session is called. Let's click on the link. Select the time you're available. There's a session for 12 p.m. watts, 2 p.m. watts, 8 p.m. watts, 12 a.m. watts, 3 a.m. watts. So you're definitely going to get a session for you. So please go ahead and book a session and join in and ask any question. It's a Q&A session, so all of your questions will be answered. I can see someone's asking what's the time for the class in Nigeria. On Saturday, it's 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and 6 p.m. Or 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So depending on whenever you're free. If you're free in the morning, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., or if you're free in the evening from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay? So thank you very much, everyone. And the next enrollment date is the next quarter starts December 6th. So there's a quarter that begins every month. And at the end, the discount for the next dates, we can't tell. So these things comes just come and goes. Like I said, the reason we currently have a 50% discount is due to the collaboration with other companies for our 5 years anniversary, and that's why we're having this. Next month, we don't have an anniversary next month, so we can't tell what the future will be in terms of discounts. Okay, I want to know which course. I believe I've talked about course with different more opportunities. I've answered that already. The 10 programs we have, there are so many. Think about it. There's so many career paths out there. Okay, there are so many career paths out there. Over in tech, blockchain developer, these, that, all of that. But we selected 10. The reason we selected this 10 is due to the fact that they are easy to learn, easy to transition into in terms of the opportunities, and have rewarding salary. So actually, if this is more than this, it's because they are both high. That's why they're in the program. Okay, that's why they are part of the programs that we are offering. Like I mentioned, we also carried out regional analysis before we went ahead to decide on these programs. So thank you, everyone. I think that's all I can take. I see Fumi says my previous question was not also answered. What about Splunk? Okay, is that the question for me? What about Splunk stroke Sentinel for cybersecurity? Are you going to be learning Splunk? Is that what you're asking? If that's the question you're asking, yes, you're going to learn Splunk. Splunk is the same too, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to learn tools like your Azure QA. Those are the two same tools that we mostly work with. But of course, for Splunk and the others, those are tools that you would also be shown how to utilize by your facilitators. Because for the cybersecurity program, there are 4 major career paths that you're going to be going through. That's the GRC, the threat intelligence, SOC analysis, and also the pen testing. Thank you, everyone, for a wonderful session. I had a great time, and I believe that you did as well. Please ensure you go ahead to register as quickly as possible so we can see you in class. Because as we always tell our kids, I'm going to be telling you too. And that is, quick says the clock. Whatever you have to do ensure you do quick. Go ahead and register. And let's help you achieve your dreams. Cheers.